welcome to Along the Lanes. Today we have a special mail time edition. In the past few weeks I have been everywhere except in my craft room. That's been for a number of reasons. First, it's been incredibly hot this summer. It's been really lovely, a fantastic summer, but it has been just too hot to be in this room. Even today, I don't think it's going to take long before it's too roasty. And there's just been lots of exciting stuff going on. So I've been to the air show. I have been to Fibre East. I have been working like a loony and just trying to spend time doing other things. I've been doing lots of knitting, but just not sitting in here. So I wanted to make this one a special edition where we just have a look at all the awesome stuff that some of it I've bought myself, some of it was sent to me through a fantastic swap that I did with a fellow knitter and crafter and podcaster. So I can't wait to show you that. Some of it I've acquired at Fibre East. By now, I would imagine I'll have published the Fibre East video, so you can find it there. And I will show you in more details what I've got. There's also just some things that I've made and that in fact are reverse mail time. They're things that are going out from here, but because I need to send them off, I wanted to show you before I put them. In fact, I had put them in their packaging and I decided to pull them back out the packaging just so I could show you. So let's get started. Oh, and I should add, there'll be a giveaway towards the end because there's something that I've acquired that is for you. First, who doesn't love a good notebook? I tend to buy cheap notebooks, treat them just as a purely practical thing, but when it comes to my crafts, I like having nice notebooks. I think it makes it extra special. It's probably something that I'll keep for a long time, so I like getting nicer notebooks. And the other day I bought for the first time things from Redbubble. I started because I was looking at the products that a friend of mine, Davida, makes, and I noticed that you could get her designs on notebooks. And of course, one thing led to the next and I acquired 6 notebooks and some stickers. You can see some of the stickers here, which are incredibly cute. And I've got 5 of the 6 notebooks. I've allowed Andrew to have 1 for now, but there's 2 more for him, so 3 each. So this is the one that I've been using so far for my video editing notes, which matches the unicorn there. So just some happy little unicorns. And I think all of these are from my friend Davida's design. So one is a kind of nice gradient, one's some funky little strawberries, gorgeous poppies. We've had so many poppies growing in the garden this year. It's just been some red ones, which is kind of the classic poppy you think of, but also some pale pink ones that just look like tissue paper. They're just so gorgeous. And then a funky kind of psychedelic beetle. So I got these, I got some stickers, and I'm just loving having nice little notebooks that I can use. Each one is very recognizable from the next because they've got their own designs. So love those. Now, the one I've been really looking forward to showing you is the package, the amazing package that I received for my Christmas in July swap. So it was organized by a spicy homemaker on Ravelry, and the idea was to send a Christmas goodie to a swapee that she chose for you. My swapee was Tracie from the Grocery Girls, who is fantastic. She's brilliant, she's good fun, and she sent me the most amazing parcel. First it arrived, I can even get it, wrapped in this fantastic red and white paper, which as soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to be something special. And it contained just a plethora of beautiful things. So this I have been using day in, day out. I love it. It's a little bag that was made by her sister Georgie, who's Mrs. Brown Bags on Mrs. Brown's Bags, I should say, on Etsy. And I just love it. It's a perfect size for a pair of socks. So I've been working on some socks for Andrew. In fact, I've got a slight problem. I misjudged how much I would need and I haven't quite got enough for the toes, so I'll have to strategize something. I'll have different colors for the toes. But it's just really nice bag size, it's very easy to carry around, and it's just beautifully made. I'm not the most competent at sewing, so I always love seeing just perfectly neat seams, and she certainly has absolutely hit the spot on that. The parcel contained just so many lovely things. There were two little Christmassy bags. One of them I'm already using to carry my small G7X camera. In fact, that can go back on the shelf. And one of them contained a I love the Rebecca Danger little monsters. So it's a little kit, and some people have already claimed they want it. So when I make it, it'll be very quick to go to a new home, I think. Tons of really lovely teas. Really looking forward to those. Of course, everything was so beautifully wrapped with Christmas ribbons and everything everywhere. It was just so nice. This is the most hilarious little progress keeper I've ever seen. It's basically a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich in tiny, tiny form. So that's just a fantastic fun progress keeper. Where do I put all the things? She sent me a bunch of gorgeous minis, all from places that are local to her and sellers like Yarn Ink. Let's see, so there's Yarn Ink, Adam and Eve, and this one's Sweet Georgia, which I love when I see it at stands, but I've never really bought it, and it's just such a nice yarn. So generous on the minis. There were two gorgeous cards. So there's one here, and then there's another one with little sheep. And of course, everything was completely packaged beautifully, individually, every color you can think of. And comes the absolutely adorable little beast. She made me a sheep, a beautiful colorwork sheep. And I think he's just so cute, and he's more than Christmassy, so I think he's going to actually just sit in my craft room on one of these shelves, probably alongside Mishu, Sackboy, and the Creeper. In fact, no, you stay down here for now. You can supervise it here. You can supervise that. Yes, and there's the other card that she sent me. So it really did feel like Christmas in July. It was just so nice. And I was so relieved also to hear when she received my parcel. That was one of my concerns. Is I sent my parcel on 1st of July, and it took till about the 27th, I think, before it arrived. Usually when I send things to Canada, they take about a week. So I was just sweating bullets thinking it had just been lost in the post. Thankfully, all is well. She's received it. Next, let's take a look at the things that I picked up when I went to Fibre East. Gosh, I knew I was missing something from Tracie's parcel. She also sent me a full skein of Yarn Ink, and it's just, that's going to be fantastic. I think it might have to be a hitchhiker. I think this as a hitchhiker would look fantastic. So as I was saying, Fibre East. At Fibre East I was relatively reserved. I was mostly excited to just meet everyone. I got to hang out with Mina of the Knitting Expat and Katie inside number 23. Said hi to Danny Little Bobbins, Claire from Beautiful Things, and just generally it was so nice to see and meet everyone. And to anyone who said hi, thank you. I might have been a little bit surprised because I didn't expect anyone to actually recognize me, but thank you for saying hi, and thank you for getting past my kind of weird look of what's going on. So that was really good fun. After the meetup, after chatting with everyone, I kind of snapped into it and I thought, yeah, I do want to take a few things home, a few reminders of Fibre East. So here's what I got. I got this gorgeous bag. So it's already... See, I'm being a good girl. I was asking on Instagram, do I start a new project or do I finish one? So I have continued working on my white pine sweater. So these are the sleeves. I've got a few more rows left to do. Normally the sleeves I think are meant to be done attached to the body, but it's the middle of summer. I didn't fancy having a whole sweater on my lap and having to flip the whole thing over every time. So I'm working on the sleeves separately, but that's not what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the bag. So it's got little foxes on, and I just love the kind of pale green. It's so nice and summery, and on the inside it's polka dotted. and I picked it up from the Cat and Sparrow stand, which was in the very corner at Fibre East. But I believe the bag is made by somebody who doesn't put labels inside her bags. And I also got from the same stand, where is it? I got a very funky little Turkish spindle. What's so special about this particular spindle is that it's 3D printed, so it appealed to me in 3 different ways. It appealed to me because of the geekiness of the 3D printed spindle, which is just funky. I've got a very small Turkish spindle that is made out of wood, which is kind of the standard thing. But to have one that is 3D printed, you can see the lines, you can see how the layers have been kind of applied layer after layer. The second reason it appealed to me is, of course, because I am a spinner and because I just enjoy anything that allows me to have a spinning project that's this portable, that doesn't require having a wheel with me in order to get something done. And it's a great way to get through some of that huge spinning stash that I've got. I'm certain that as soon as I look away, it just multiplies. It's just, I don't understand. I haven't bought any fibre for like a year and it still fills up as much space as it did before. And reason number 3 is a slightly video geeky thing. So if you've watched my video where I was playing around with pizza making and with cocktail making, tequila cocktails the best, I'll put a link there. I was playing with colour filters, and one of the colour filters that you might remember from the era of movies like Transformers, there was a lot of movies that had a very strong teal and orange filter. So that's where the colours kind of feel a little bit kind of crazy and, well, teal and orange. So I was very amused by the fact that that spindle was those 2 colours together, which aren't colours you tend to put together, but oddly they work. So there's that. Also at Fibre East, I went to the Sparkle Duck stand. I really like Sparkle Duck. She's got some fantastic colours, and not just that, but if you start chatting with her, she's so lovely. I don't actually know the lady's name, but she's hardworking and she's always there. So I picked up a gradient of, what's the total? 20 grams times 6, so there's 120 grams in here of a gradient that goes from very dark teal to a kind of brighter green, going via kind of the brighter teal colours. And the whole thing has stellina, so it's got silver sparkle to it. I haven't decided what I want to do, but I think this paired with either a grey or some other neutral, I think could be really good fun, maybe even in brioche, which, yeah, brioche. I think we're on something there. So picked this up, and oh, in fact, maybe not brioche, because I picked some beads, also from Sparkle Duck, which are kind of petrol colored beads, which would go very well with that yarn. So I may have to use the yarn for something else just in order to be able to use the beads with it. So that's what I purchased at Fibre East. But I was very lucky, and amongst the people that I met the lovely Claire from Beautiful Things, and she gave me a little pink wrapped parcel, which I didn't open during the show because I was trying to kind of cram everything into my bags, and I thought if I open it, I don't want to lose any part of it. But when I got home, I was just floored. It was such a fun gift. So thank you, Claire. Thank you very much. This was all the wrapping, and this is her business, Beautiful Things. So she does craft and sewing lessons. Have a look at her website. And she gave me a Pokemon themed bag. Not only is the bag brilliant, so go take a course with her and you can learn how to make your own bags as well. And a little DPN holder. So this is very simple, but it's clever. It just has little pressure buttons at each end, and you slip in, let's say you're working on a sock, you slip in the DPNs in there, you let your knitting kind of hang out from the bottom of it, and then pop the poppers, and it just keeps your needles safe, and you know they won't poke through other things, and they'll be ready, and no stitches will, of course, no stitches will fall off. So very clever. and also a little tiny triangle bag into which you can put things like stitch markers and whatnot, and it contained a tiny Pikachu. So little Pikachu can go back in that bag. And she's generous. And also a little finger counter. So it's a tiny stitch counter where you just push the little button, you kind of attach it to your fingers so that when you get to the end of your row, pop, push the button and it'll keep track. So again, incredibly clever. And one other lovely person who was at the meetup gave me this adorable little yarn stitch marker. So thank you again, that was very sweet. So those were all the goodies from Fibre East. How lovely was that? And add to that the fact that the weather was brilliant, everyone was so nice. Couldn't have asked for a better day. And as if it couldn't get any better, I got home and I didn't have one, but I had 2 parcels waiting for me. First, Hedgehog Fibre Club members look away. The twist yarn arrived for the club, and I mean those colours, I almost always feel gushingly excited when Hedgehog Fibre's stuff arrives, but this is just, it's almost too cute. I should almost not like it because it's too My Little Pony and girly. I love it, like madly, truly, deeply love it. And it goes through all the pastel colours with speckles of darker colours, so pretty much the whole rainbow. So you've got some pale green, pale yellow, pale orange, into the pinks and purples. So it pretty much covers the entire rainbow, and then the speckles also cover most colours. But it's just brilliant, and I have seen some of the club members have already knit theirs, and it's brilliant. I can't wait to use it. I haven't decided how I'm going to use it, but I think it just has to be a sea of stockinette just to appreciate the gorgeousness of the colours. So that arrived, and then there was the recognisable trademark beautiful packaging from Pom Pom, which included the gorgeous autumn edition of Pom Pom Magazine. If you're not familiar with Pom Pom Magazine, do have a look online. They are just such a lovely team of people who make a beautiful magazine. They're not the easiest projects. They're not necessarily, well, I suppose some can be beginner projects. So some kind of hats, fingerless mittens, even some of the sweaters can be fairly simple, but they also try to get past just the beginner projects. Some magazines, it feels like it's very repetitive, and once you've had a year's worth of issues, it's pretty much, it repeats itself. But this is just always beautiful, and it's very nice to look at as well. It's just so pleasant, and it's always got little interviews, little stories, some nice cake recipes. So I highly recommend Pom Pom. In the same envelope, it's so great having no memory means that things I've ordered arrive and it feels like a surprise. So let's pile that up there. So the Interpretations Volume 3, which is also published alongside the Pom Pom team, so it's got that same high quality feel, but is a collaboration between Georgie Locatelli, who's a designer I adore, and Vero Välimäki, who's probably one of the first new modern designers that I discovered through Ravelry, and the two make a wonderful team. Vera is in Finland, I think. I hope I got that right. And Georgie is in South America. So it's quite an interesting team from across the world, but they're both lovely. In fact, they're fun to follow on Instagram. They do so much fun stuff, so much lovely stuff. So it's another great book. There's a few, the one I'm really keen on doing is Breathing Space, which is a pattern for a women's top, which is quite stripy in a solid and probably a speckly yarn. So the Hedgehog Fibres twist sock is likely to be perfect for the speckly colourful part of it, and then I need to pick a slightly more neutral, more semi-solid colour to go with it. So that's going to be great, but first I'll be a good girl and I will finish my white pine, which is this one. Next, on the slightly geeky front, I've acquired a very little small camera bag. Most camera bags out there seem to be made for, you know, giant men with broad backs and everything. And every time I put those on, I feel like a packed mule because they're just too big. So my challenge was to find the smallest possible camera bag that can carry what I need. So I tend to need a couple of different lenses because I like to make my life difficult. I need to be able to carry my camera with the microphone, and also my GorillaPod, which is my handheld slash mini tripod that I like to carry around. So this is the bag that I found, and it's from Lower Pro, who make a lot of camera gear, and it's literally this small, just perfect for me. It's like weenie sized. And I've arranged the inside so I can fit a spare battery, I can fit the camera itself, kind of upside down, and I can fit the microphone here so it doesn't get squished, and the spare lens down there. Then all of the bits and bobs can go in the front, some kind of lens wipes and the chargers and the spare batteries and all the things. So this has just been perfect. I used it when we went to the air show, and I used it at Fibre East, and it was just great. In fact, at Fibre East, I even managed to fit my knitting into it, so perfect. Highly recommended. Now, before I move on to the things that I'll be giving away to you, I'll show you the things that I'm giving away to friends and family. See, this is the one that I had fully packed until I realized that I wanted to show you before giving it away. Some long time friends of mine have just had a teeny tiny baby, and of course it's an opportunity to make teeny tiny baby things. So I'm not very good with baby sizing. I have a bad habit of making knitting that's too small for the baby by the time I meet the baby. So this time I thought I won't make that mistake. And I kind of went the other way. This is probably too big for a newborn, but that's okay, she can wear it in the autumn and in the winter. So this is the Rachel Atkinson pop cardigan, which I think is just such a nice, simple pattern, definitely a simple one. You could use a different colour for the yoke and then a second colour for the body, or you could use different colours for the yoke, so make little stripes and then repeat those colours in the cuffs. Hello! I kind of chickened out. I was looking at numerous different types of buttons out of my button collection, and I couldn't really decide. So in the end, I went for the classy and safe option of just kind of the white, slightly shiny buttons. So that's the little pop cardigan. Then I decided that that was potentially too big, so let's make something a little bit more newborn sized. So I made a teeny tiny little Milo. So I have made this Milo top a few times, which is by Georgie Hallam, and part of why I like it is that it allows you to customize it quite nicely. Here down this very imperfect braid, that's okay, they're not knitters, they won't notice. Down the braid, you can really choose what you put. So some people put XOXO, hugs and kisses, or you can have it completely plain. I've made one when my nephew was a tiny baby. I made it in fingering weight, so finer than this. This is made in DK weight, and in fact I think this is worsted weight, this one. So that was a quick knit. This one as well was a very quick knit. I forget how quick it is when you knit for babies. So the one I'd made for my nephew, instead I made plain with Colourwork Space Invaders at the bottom, and it was great, but obviously being fingering weight, it took a lot longer, and it was one of my first Colourwork projects. Felt a little bit too tight down the bottom, which is not really what you want, but it was an experiment and it fitted him well anyway. So this one is a teeny tiny newborn size. These two will be going away tomorrow, so I wanted to show you first. Next, completely silly, pointless, but I love it. I've been getting stickers, silly stickers. It's like I've never grown up really, and these are Korean stickers. I just came across them on Amazon and I've fallen in love with them, and they're all sorts of very silly. This one is angry little piglets. I'm not quite sure why they're angry, and these are happy little cats, and there's all sorts of Korean sayings next to them, but I'm just hoping they're not rude when I put them in cards for my friends. And again, an angry little girl. I don't know why she's angry, but There she's shouting at her phone, and there she's managing to be angry even when she's spraying water, the water hose, and making rainbows. Angry shoes. And last but not least, here's what I've got that I'm going to give away soon. I have joined the Stephen West Fun Squad. The Fun Squad is a measuring gauge which you can carry around your neck very stylishly and be part of the West Side crew. And I've got two, as you can see. Stephen sent these from Amsterdam, and I am going next week to be giving one of these away. I haven't decided how, so you'll have to watch the next episode to find out how you can participate. But Fun Squad, join us, join in the fun. And if I can find a way of sending these without destroying them, Stephen also sent 1, 2, 3, 4 of his older patterns, older designs, all West Knits designs. So there's 3 hats and a shawl, and all of them are really lovely. Some are slightly stranded color work, some are slightly simpler, hold 2 strands together, and the shawl is a 2-color flamboyant shawl. So I will try to find a way to send these. I suppose if I folded them in 2, would you forgive me? Would you forgive me if I folded them? It would make them slightly imperfect, but at least they'd get to you. So let me know if you fancy those, and next week I'll arrange a little giveaway. So I think that's it for mail time. If you've enjoyed rifling through my stash and looking at all the new goodies that have arrived, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun. There's lots of great stuff coming up, and in the next episode I'll have a look at the projects I've been working on, at the cool stuff that I've been up to, and at the lovely things that I'm thinking of making soon. So join me next time. Bye bye!